From scorching deserts that sear the skin to towering mountains where clouds meld with ancient rock, nature is a wordless epic, fierce and majestic. The vast African savannas stretch endlessly, where the horizon blurs between the azure sky and the parched earth. This is not just a landscape, it is the soul of life. An eternal arena where survival and destruction clash. Here, it seems as though God has painted a masterpiece with bold, contrasting hues. Golden grasslands stretch like an ancient, time-worn carpet, yet beneath this arid surface lies a vibrant, unstoppable world of energy. Every moment here is a dance of life, a stage for ceaseless battles. Predators glide through the darkness, silent as a whispering breeze, while their prey has no room for error. They must run, they must fight, and they must gamble everything to survive. A single misstep could be their final farewell to life. This unforgiving land shows no mercy. Life here is forged in a blazing furnace, each creature a piece of steel, enduring the heat and relentless wear to become stronger, sharper. Only the most resilient, the warriors of nature, can endure and prevail through these trials. Welcome to the fierce survival stories of the wild savannah. As the first rays of light pierce through the night, touching the grasslands of the savannah, Africa awakens in a moment of pure enchantment. The sky blazes with mystical hues of orange, as if nature itself has lit the torch of a new day. Yet amidst this breathtaking scene, peace is a luxury. The savannah never truly rests. Here, life and death clash without mercy, like light and shadow wrestling on the grand canvas of creation. In this untamed wilderness, the great herds begin their perilous migration. Millions of creatures leave their shelters, journeying toward distant water sources like pilgrims, wagering everything on a fragile glimmer of hope. Yet on this path, no place is truly safe. Hidden within the tall, sun-bleached grass, lions lie in wait. They move like shapeless phantoms, their eyes glowing in the dawn's light. A single leap, a fatal bite, every movement is a masterful act of destruction. Further afield, leopards and African wild dogs chase down zebras and antelopes. Here, survival doesn't belong to the strongest, but to the wisest. Beneath the still waters of the flooded savannah, the oldest predators lie in wait. Crocodiles, motionless warriors, rest beneath the surface like living shadows, waiting for the wild herds to cross the river. As zebras brave the treacherous waters, only 7 out of 10 will reach the other side. The rest vanish forever into sharp jaws and swirling currents of fate. The savannah doesn't just test strength, it challenges patience, willpower, and endurance. Every creature here, predator or prey, is a warrior in the brutal battle for survival. Every breath is a decision, every stride a gamble. Savannah, the wild heart of Africa, where nature showcases timeless beauty and power. Spanning approximately 20% of the Earth's land surface, the savannah is a golden expanse of grasslands shimmering under the sun. Like an endless carpet stretching to the horizon. It is more than just a landmass. It is a unique biome and ecosystem where sprawling grasslands merge seamlessly with scattered trees. Sunlight filters through, nurturing the lush grasses below and transforming the savanna into a majestic stage for life. The African savanna, one of the planet's oldest and richest ecosystems, has witnessed nature's great transformations over millions of years. As dense forests receded and arid climates took hold, the savanna emerged, a new world, harsh yet brimming with life. Here, survival demanded adaptation or extinction. The African grasslands now cover approximately 5 million square miles, equivalent to 65% of the continent's area, stretching across nations like Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Namibia. With the arrival of the rains, the savanna bursts back to life, its vast fields blanketed in vibrant green. Yet, in a fleeting moment, the rains vanish, leaving behind a parched land, a relentless trial for its inhabitants, a test imposed by the spirit of the savanna. The savanna is home to over 8,000 plant species, from sprawling grasses to thorny shrubs and towering trees. These plants not only provide sustenance for millions of creatures, but also act as colossal climate regulators. Among its wildlife, the savanna hosts over 1,500 mammal species, from colossal grazers like elephants and giraffes to apex predators like lions, leopards, and African wild dogs. In the skies, more than 2,000 bird species soar, from tiny migratory birds to majestic birds of prey, painting the vast heavens with their flight. Beneath the waters, the wetlands shelter over 500 aquatic species and 400 reptile species, all forming an intricate food chain orchestrated with meticulous precision, a masterpiece of the creator's design. The African savanna is not just a land, it is the beating heart of an entire continent. Here, the rhythm of life is dictated by the interplay of wet and dry seasons, and nature paints a vivid canvas of unparalleled biodiversity. Sprawling beneath an endless sky, the savanna is not merely an ecosystem, but an eternal symbol of life, resilient, powerful, and wondrous. At the heart of the tropical savanna ecosystem, proudly sprawling across the Serengeti grasslands, lies a mesmerizing natural wonder covering over 12,000 square miles, stretching from Tanzania to Kenya. The Serengeti is more than just a land. It is a living canvas of life, an eternal symphony composed by nature over millions of years. It is one of the oldest and most biodiverse grasslands on Earth, home to over 70 species of large mammals and 500 species of birds, painting an unparalleled and breathtaking landscape. From November to May, as rain showers rejuvenate the land, lush green grass blankets the plains, creating a paradise for herbivores. But when the dry season begins in June and stretches through October, that paradise fades. The grasslands wither, water becomes scarce, and the struggle for survival begins. 1.5 million wildebeests, 250,000 zebras, and hundreds of thousands of other herbivores gather into massive herds to embark on an epic journey spanning over 1,800 miles. This is not merely a journey, it is a battle for survival. These animals must cross arid plains, navigate treacherous terrain, ford raging rivers teeming with crocodiles, and evade predators lurking in the shadows. Every moment is a confrontation between life and death, an unrelenting display of nature's raw power. Yet, despite the ever-present dangers, the herds press on. Masai Mara, a promised land with verdant grasslands and abundant water, beckons like a dream at the end of this arduous path. Here, life is renewed. Herbivores drive the regeneration of vegetation, while predators maintain the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Every species plays its part, contributing to a miraculous biological cycle, a never-ending circle of life that ensures the survival of the savanna. Within the vast savanna ecosystem, the Serengeti stands as a colossal arena spanning over 12,000 square miles, where millions of creatures intertwine in an endless cycle of life and death. This is not merely a wondrous natural expanse, but a vivid testament to the wisdom and magnificence of the Creator. In this perfect masterpiece, every creature, from the smallest to the mightiest, carries a purpose for existence, contributing to the remarkable balance that only God could orchestrate. Zebras, antelopes, and other herbivores not only create the idyllic scenery of the Serengeti, but also serve as a vital lifeline for the 3,000 to 3,500 lions, the uncrowned kings of the grasslands. According to the Wildlife Conservation Society, approximately 6,000 wildebeests and thousands of zebras fall prey to these great cats every year. Yet this is not destruction. It is the Creator's way of maintaining population balance, ensuring the Serengeti's life cycle continues harmoniously without excess or scarcity. Lions, scientifically known as Panthera leo, are masterpieces of creation, a symbol of strength, pride, and resilience. As the second largest big cat after the Siberian tiger, they are Africa's apex predators. But the title King of the Grasslands is not derived from individual strength alone. It comes from unity, a gift bestowed by the Creator, enabling them to lead the savanna. A pride of lions typically consists of 10 to 15 members, with lionesses as the primary hunters. They patiently select their targets, often focusing on the old, weak, or young, and execute ambush strategies with unparalleled precision. Their coordinated efforts are a breathtaking display of mastery, crafted by the Creator's meticulous hand. But a lion's hunting prowess goes beyond sheer strength. What truly makes them master predators is the intelligence bestowed upon them by the Creator. Lions do not charge blindly at their prey. They analyze, evaluate, and meticulously craft their strategy. They understand that patience is a golden key, and in every hunt, they display the composure of seasoned warriors, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. In particular, lionesses, the most exceptional hunters, are the embodiment of coordination and calculated precision. Gifted by God with an incredible ability to work as a team, they divide their tasks flawlessly. Some distract and confuse the prey, while others silently lie in wait to ambush from multiple angles. Every hunt is like a symphony, where each movement is executed with perfect harmony. This is no coincidence, but a gift from the Creator, who designed this intricate masterpiece of life. Meanwhile, a male lion, with a roar that can echo up to 5 miles, serves as the pride's protector. With their strength and majestic presence, they fend off invaders, from rival male lions to packs of ravenous hyenas. The male lion's power is not only in its muscles or roar, but in its divine role as guardian, a responsibility granted by the Creator to maintain balance within the ecosystem. The Serengeti, with its extraordinary beauty and delicate balance, is a gift from the Creator to the world, a masterpiece where every brushstroke, every creature, holds profound meaning. Here, lions are not merely predators. They are embodiments of leadership, authority, and the divine order that God has bestowed upon the natural world. Serengeti, along with its kings of the grasslands, is an eternal hymn of life, a place where humanity can witness and feel the presence of God in every breath of nature. As night falls over the savanna grasslands, the vast expanse is cloaked in a mysterious black veil, woven with the delicate silver threads of moonlight and the shimmering brilliance of countless stars. The air grows still, filled only with the whispers of the wind brushing through the tall grasses like nature's soft lullaby. Within this serene silence, majestic silhouettes begin to stir. Great predators, the uncrowned kings of the grasslands, the lions. Endowed by the Creator with unparalleled hunting skills, lions move with grace and calculated intent. Each step they take blends seamlessly with the rhythm of the earth, producing not a single sound. Their golden eyes, sharp and piercing like blades, scan the darkness, detecting even the slightest movement. These lions are not mere hunters. They are the embodiment of strength and intelligence, masterpieces shaped by God to sustain the perpetual circle of life. From the shadows, pairs of glowing eyes observe with patience, waiting for the perfect moment. The pride begins to execute its strategy. The lionesses, silent as phantoms, spread out in 2 flanking groups, forming a near-perfect encirclement. The lions charge forward, their muscles rippling with raw power, their speed as swift as lightning. A perfectly timed leap ends the chase, quick, precise, as if the outcome of this hunt had already been preordained by God's hand. There is no chaos, no waste. God has taught the lions to hunt as an art, to aim true, use their strength with precision, and master every pursuit. When fragile lion cubs are born, the lioness becomes a devoted mother, carrying the sacred mission of protecting and nurturing the next generation. In her gentle yet vigilant eyes, we see boundless love woven by the hand of the Creator himself. The den where she shelters her cubs is not merely a refuge, but a fortress guarded with unparalleled courage and strength. Whether it's the howls of hyenas echoing outside or dangers lurking in the shadows, the lioness stands resolute, ready to sacrifice everything to keep her little ones safe. Every drop of milk she gives her cubs is not just nourishment, it is a symbol of profound sacrifice. In those early days of life, when the cubs are weak and helpless, they are cradled in their mother's warmth, shielded by her soft fur that feels like God's embrace, protecting them from the harsh realities of the savannah. Her eyes never leave her cubs, and her ears remain attuned to every faint sound. This unwavering focus and love are a testament to the maternal instinct that only the Creator could have instilled. As the cubs grow strong enough to step out of the den, the lioness becomes their most dedicated teacher. She teaches them to observe, to stalk with patience, to charge and seize their target with astonishing precision. Every step, every playful pounce, and every mock hunt is a valuable lesson, divinely inspired for her to pass on. At times, the lioness feigns failure to encourage her cubs to learn, but when danger looms, she does not hesitate to leap into action, risking her life to protect them. Even in times of hardship, when hunger grips the pride, the lioness prioritizes her cubs, giving them the scarce food she has. Her powerful muscles may grow weak, but the heart of a mother never falters. This is more than sacrifice. It is unconditional love, a love the Creator has etched into every breath and heartbeat of her being. The sight of a lioness grooming, playing with, protecting, and teaching her cubs is breathtakingly beautiful, a hymn to motherhood that God has delicately placed in this world. In these moments, it is not just life continuing, it is the unmistakable presence of the Creator who has imbued nature with the essence of love. A lioness does not just raise her cubs, she nurtures hope, sustains the circle of life, and safeguards the perfect balance of the natural world. With every step she takes, and every moment she bows to tend to her young, the light of the Creator shines across the savannah, reminding us that love and life are the most wondrous miracles He has created. As dawn drenches the savannah in a golden blaze, a shadow moves stealthily through the towering grass, blending into nature as if it had never existed. It does not roar like a lion, nor does it cause chaos like a pack of hyenas. It has no need to flaunt its power because it is power itself, the very embodiment of death. A predator sculpted by the hands of creation with absolute perfection, swift as a lightning strike, ruthless as fate, and vanishing like an illusion. The leopard, Panthera pardus, the phantom of the grasslands, the invisible assassin of the deep forests. It does not fight with brute force or rely on a pack for survival. No earth-shaking roars, no thunderous footsteps, only suffocating silence, a chilling prelude to an inevitable end. This is a hunter like no other, solitary, silent, and lethal. Forged by nature into a machine of predation, the leopard is a masterpiece of speed, strength, and merciless precision. Every step it takes is a prophecy of death, every leap a silent execution. It does not chase, it waits, it does not pursue, it lurks. And when the moment comes, in a single breath, it strikes like a blade slicing through the night. Claws sharp as scythes sink deep into flesh. Jaws powerful enough to crush bone lock in an unrelenting grip. No screams, no struggle, just the absolute silence of a life stolen in an instant. But the leopard's strength is not just in its fangs or its terrifying speed. It hunts, not just with force, but with intelligence. When its prey believes it is safe, the leopard has already been there. While others waste time chasing across the vast plains, it drags its kill high into the treetops, feasting undisturbed, beyond the reach of lions and hyenas. It does not just hunt, it disappears. No other predator on Earth has mastered the art of invisibility quite like the leopard. It is darkness within light, silence amidst chaos, an unseen ruler of the wild. Whether in dense jungles, sprawling savannas, or snow-laden cliffs, nothing can contain it. Nature has gifted the leopard the most fearsome weapon of all, absolute adaptability. And as the night falls, as the weak drift into uneasy slumber, haunted by primal fears, it rises once more from the shadows, silent, unseen, and a chilling reminder that in the wild, it is not the strongest that are the most terrifying, but those who remain unseen, yet are always present. This young bud is very tired. He was lying on the tree, gasping for breath. In the past year, he has been living a nomadic life. Searching for a piece of his territory, he is only 3 years old, finally managed to occupy a territory his new home is spread across every leopard print stream. But Olimba is young, very hungry and inexperienced. A delicious meal that seems to be within reach. It's so tempting what he has to do. The sheep are near the edge of the groove. There is an optimum attack distance. Otherwise they will be left behind by their prey. Olimba must be at a distance from the prey. A surprise attack can only be launched within 4.5 meters. For the flower treasure that is hunting, close is never close enough. Almost within range of Olimba, he just has to wait for him to come a little closer. When the deer let down his guard, he was like a bolt of lightning, 10 kilometers as fast. He chases him, it's hard to fly. Finally, Flower Treasure passes a beautiful fall. The two of you hug each other like a couple. The enemy of one's life, it's like getting out of the game with prey in your mouth. Leopards are also fast. The deer also found an opportunity to get away. Obviously, it's too late. I can only turn my head to find trouble with the flower newspaper, just silently walk away to find. On the vast plains of the Serengeti, where life and death are separated by a single breath, a golden blur streaks across the landscape like a lightning bolt. No deafening roar, no ambush from the shadows like the leopard. This predator doesn't need to hide, nor does it rely on the strength of a pack. It is the embodiment of pure speed, a lone warrior engineered by nature for the ultimate race of survival. The cheetah, Acinonyx jubatus, the undisputed king of speed, a master of the wind, and a predator that turns raw acceleration into its deadliest weapon. In a world where lions and hyenas dominate through strength and teamwork, the cheetah takes a different path, one ruled by speed, precision, and an unmatched killer instinct. nature has sculpted the cheetah's body with absolute perfection. It doesn't have the bone-crushing bite of a lion or the brute force of a hyena, but what it does have is a marvel of evolution. Its long, flexible spine acts like a biological spring, stretching and contracting with every stride, allowing it to cover up to 23 feet, 7 meters, in a single bound. Its long, lightweight legs generate explosive force, propelling it forward with staggering acceleration. In just 3 seconds, the cheetah can reach nearly 60 miles per hour, 100 kilometers per hour, the same speed as a high-performance sports car. But speed alone isn't enough. The cheetah isn't just a mindless sprinter, it's a strategist. It reads the terrain, predicts every move of its prey, and even uses the wind to its advantage. When an antelope makes the smallest mistake, a mistimed leap, a moment of hesitation, a slight misstep, the cheetah strikes. This isn't just a chase, it's a high-stakes pursuit. As its prey twists and turns in desperation, the cheetah adjusts instantly, using its long tail like a rudder, allowing it to change direction mid-sprint without losing momentum. Unlike other big cats, the cheetah's claws don't retract, giving it extra grip on the ground and razor-sharp precision in every turn. Each maneuver is flawless, a breathtaking display of speed, agility, and deadly accuracy. Then comes the final blow. A swift swipe to the prey's hind leg sends it crashing to the ground in a swirl of dust. Within seconds, the cheetah pins it down, jaws clamping tightly around the throat, cutting off its air supply. No struggle, no second chances, just silence. But even after a successful hunt, the cheetah has no time to celebrate. It lacks the strength to defend its kill. A single lion, a pack of hyenas, or even a stealthy leopard can smell blood from miles away, ready to steal its hard-earned meal. If the cheetah doesn't eat quickly, it risks losing everything. Unlike lions, who feast and then rest under the shade, the cheetah must always stay on high alert. If a larger predator arrives, it has no choice but to flee, because the cheetah wasn't built to fight. It was born to run. And if it ever gets injured, if it ever slows down, its reign as the fastest animal on land will come to an end, along with its life. Though it is one of the most fearsome predators on the plains, the cheetah is also a mother of unyielding strength. She does not hunt just to survive. She hunts to protect, to feed, and to raise her fragile cubs in a world filled with danger. Unlike lions, she has no pride to defend her. Unlike hyenas, she has no clan to share the burden. Alone, she must shelter her young, teach them to hunt, to hide, and to survive in a land where threats lurk in every shadow. The first 18 months of a cheetah cub's life are the most perilous. Lions, hyenas, even leopards would kill them without hesitation. The odds of survival are grim. Only 10 to 20% of cubs ever reach adulthood. But the cheetah mother does not give up. She is always moving, always searching for safety, always vanishing into the tall grass to keep her cubs hidden from predators. When they are old enough, she teaches them the art of the hunt, every step, every pounce, every failure, and every success. She knows that one day her cubs must face the wild alone. They must learn to run, to fight, and to survive without her. Yet no matter how fast the cheetah runs, it cannot outrun the dangers closing in. Habitat destruction, human expansion, and rising competition from larger predators are pushing this species to the brink of extinction. As of 2023, the IUCN estimates that only about 200 cheetahs remain in the Serengeti. As night falls over the Serengeti and the cold wind whispers through the swaying grass, somewhere, a cheetah mother still watches over her cubs. She knows the road ahead will not be easy. She knows the dangers are relentless, but she also knows one thing for certain. As long as she can run, as long as she can fight, she will never stop. It has been 4 months since these 3 cheetahs hunted a young antelope. The daughters of Mara, the cheetah, are now 1 year old. Their mother is still teaching them how to hunt. This time, they've set their sights on a herd of Thompson's gazelles grazing nearby. This moment, they are stealthily targeting the gazelles in the grasslands. The cheetahs use their fur's natural color to blend into the tall grass. They crouch low and slowly inch closer to the gazelles. The unsuspecting gazelles continue grazing, unaware of the approaching danger. At this moment, the gazelles seem to sense something. A slight commotion begins to stir. The cheetah suddenly lunges forward, engaging these prey in a life and death chase. This particular gazelle gave them quite the challenge. One of the cheetahs pursues it. Mara is left panting heavily, but one of her daughters is ready to step in and help. For the first time, she participates in the hunt. Mara's daughters don't yet realize that this hunt will be their last one together with their mother. It marks the beginning of their independent lives. These 2 young cheetahs are now 14 months old. Their mother left a week ago and now they must survive on their own. Mother cheetahs do not abandon their cub son till they have fully learned hunting skills. That usually happens around 18 months of age. They will have to face life on their own. Sooner than expected, they will roam the vast savanna, searching for prey, keeping a low profile, avoiding enemies, but they are far from being ready. The roar of the cheetah could not scare away these powerful enemies. Mara's daughters were no match for the hyenas with teeth that could crush bones. They couldn't compete in numbers. This time, the hungry hyenas gave up. The 2 sisters returned to their own territory. The cheetah has seen its prey, but to catch them means traversing rough, muddy terrain, and that is the cheetah's challenge. This new hunt must succeed no matter the difficulty because they are starving. The cheetah cubs are now using the same technique as Mara to approach their prey. They try to be as unnoticed as possible, blend into their surroundings, and when the time is right, they will attack. Just as they learned from their mother, one of the sisters comes to help control the prey. The prey tries to escape, but it is scared. The young cheetahs are very alert now. This time, they will not let the prey escape. Finally, one of the cheetahs grabbed the prey by the throat, ready to bite it. The cheetah began to tear the prey was still alive to eat. As usual, the hyenas were waiting for their chance. Once again, faced with these fearsome carnivores, the two young cheetahs were helpless. To survive, Mara's daughters must live a wandering life, searching for new lands. When faced with enemies, we can only hope they will unite together. Mara is still alive, but she has become a lone cheetah. For 100 years, the cheetah has been hunted and threatened by human activity. At the beginning of the 20th century, there were 100,000 cheetahs in the wild. Now there are only 7,000 left. Their shared habitat is also shrinking rapidly. If humans continue to ignore the fate of the cheetah, the world's fastest animal will be pushed to the brink of extinction. And like the first cheetah in African legend, Mara and her sisters might also cease to exist, becoming nothing more than a legend.
Where the rainforest and the savanna collide, like two rivers merging into one, a land of contrast and beauty emerges. A place where the lush embrace of the trees meets the open vastness of the grasslands, where the winds carry the breath of two worlds, blending into a single, untamed rhythm of the wild. This is the homeland of one of Africa's most extraordinary animals, the African giraffe, Giraffa camelopardalis, the gentle giants of the savanna. They are living towers of nature, tall, graceful, and utterly unmistakable. A fully grown giraffe can stand up to 18.7 feet, 5.7 meters tall, making it the tallest land animal on Earth. Towering over the grasslands, they stretch their long necks toward the treetops, reaching heights no other herbivore can. With coats patterned in a mosaic of unique markings, no two giraffes are ever the same. Each one a masterpiece sculpted by nature itself. But their height is not their only defining feature. They wear a natural crown upon their heads. Unlike their relatives, African giraffes have up to 5 horn-like structures, a rare trait among mammals. Their large, gentle eyes scan the horizon, capable of detecting the slightest movement from afar, allowing them to anticipate danger before it arrives. They do not roar to claim dominance, yet they remain untouchable titans of the wilderness. Yet the African giraffe is more than just a silent
Predator emerges from the morning mist, the cheetah, Acinonyx jubatus, the embodiment of speed, the arrow of the savanna. With a slender yet powerful frame, it surges forward like a thunderstorm, cutting across the scorched grasslands as if God himself had breathed the spirit of the wind into its legs. The cheetah is not the strongest, it is not the fiercest, but it is the fastest creature nature has ever bestowed upon this world. With lightning speed reaching up to 70 miles per hour, it does not need to fight. It hunts with pure velocity, overtaking its prey before they even realize their fate. The fragile young Thompson's gazelles, the inexperienced zebras, they cannot escape. For death itself has taken the form of the cheetah's legs. With eyes as sharp as a blade slicing through the mist, the cheetah is not just a fast runner, it is a master of patience and calculation. Unlike other predators that rely on brute strength or numbers, it is a solitary hunter, a ghost, gliding across the savanna, as light as the wind yet carrying the weight of death. Before committing to the hunt, the cheetah does not rush. It meticulously selects its prey, targeting only the weak or the unwary. From afar, it blends into the withered golden grass, lowering its body, every muscle taut like a bowstring waiting to be released. It waits, an unwavering patience without a single wasted motion. And then the moment arrives. When a Thompson's gazelle lets its guard down, when a young zebra lingers a second too long, that is when the Jeppa becomes a living arrow, a golden streak flashing beyond its prey's perception. The Jeppa does not pounce like a lion, nor does it persistently pursue like a pack of hyenas. It wields its speed like a blade, severing all hope of escape. As the distance closes, it shifts tactics, an abrupt turn, explosive strides bursting with power, and then with a single leap, its razor-sharp claws hook onto the prey's hind leg, throwing it off balance. A sharp cry pierces the air, a cloud of dust rises, and when everything settles, the cheetah has its fangs pressed against the prey's throat, silencing its life in a whisper. No roars, no prolonged struggle. Only the absolute precision of a predator born to hunt with speed and strategy. It lingers for a moment, breath still heavy, eyes still gleaming with vigilance. Because even the fastest hunter is not the strongest. Lions and hyenas could appear at any moment, ready to steal its hard-earned prize. But such is the law of this unforgiving land, where only the swiftest and the smartest can survive. The cheetah, with legs carrying the spirit of the wind, is always the first to cross the finish line of the hunt. Across the vast grasslands of the African savanna, where the chase never ceases, a master predator rises, the African wild dog. God did not create them to be the strongest, but to be the most relentless warriors, the ones who never give up. Scientifically known as Lycaon pictus, these hunters boast an astonishing success rate of up to 80%, higher than any other predator in the savanna. Other hunters rely on brute strength, solitude, or sheer luck. But the African wild dog thrives on unity, masterful strategy, and absolute patience. They do not hunt with brute force, but with intelligence and unwavering loyalty to their pack, a gift bestowed upon them by God alone. More than just persistent hunters, they are masters of adaptation. Their presence is not confined to the open plains. They venture into territories claimed by leopards, hyenas, those who rule the night. Even more, they do not fear encroaching on landscapes reshaped by humans, farmlands, degraded ecosystems, places where nature has been disrupted. For God did not create them to succumb to hardship, but to conquer it. Lean yet powerful, their long, muscular legs are built for endurance. They do not merely run, they glide across the plains, soaring over the savanna like wild gusts of wind, unstoppable. A unique trait, a divine signature. Each paw bears only 4 toes, unlike any other canine species. A small detail, yet one that transforms them into supreme hunters, slipping effortlessly through the endless grasslands. Their patchwork coats, black, gold, white, and brown, are not just marks of wild beauty, but a perfect camouflage. Each individual is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of God, no two alike, allowing them to recognize their kin amidst the vast dangers of the wilderness. But above all, their greatest weapon is the power of the pack. Unlike solitary big cats, African wild dogs live and fight together. A pack often consists of 10 to 20 members, each with a role, each with a purpose. Their communication is not just through eye contact, but through howls, barks, and even the subtlest body movements. And when the hunt begins, every individual becomes a vital piece in God's flawless design for the ultimate pursuit. Prey. Like Thompson's gazelles and zebras, they are swift enough to catch smaller animals like hares and birds. But what makes them unstoppable on the savanna is their hunting style, collective, coordinated, and relentless. While some lead the chase, others flank from the sides, cutting off any chance of escape. They do not give their prey a moment to fight back. A flawless hunt, a symphony of patience and strategy, a masterpiece that only God himself could have designed. Yet, even as they dominate the plains, they face their greatest challenge, survival in the unforgiving heat. They do not roar like lions, they do not have the claws of leopards, but they possess something no other predator does: endless endurance. They can run over 30 miles a day without rest, without stopping, without faltering. God gifted them the resilience to withstand the scorching savanna, but even the toughest warriors must choose their battles wisely. They hunt in the early morning or late afternoon, when the sun has yet to turn the land into a furnace, because here, food is never abundant, and every meal is a fight. The strongest are not those who are the most ruthless, but those who know how to endure. African wild dogs are more than skilled hunters. They are phantoms of the grasslands, winds that never stop, warriors shaped by God to prove that unity can overcome brute strength. They are not the kings of the savannah, but they are the ones who cannot be defeated on their battlefield. No prey escapes them. No distance is too great. They are God's warriors, relentless hunters, predators who never tire. And across the sun-scorched plains where life and death are separated by a single breath, the pack marches on, a living legend, undefeated. Across the vast grasslands of the African savanna, where the sun scorches the earth and the night conceals deadly mysteries, one predator stands atop the food chain, a ruler without a throne, a symbol of absolute power. The lion, the king of the savanna. More than just a predator, the lion is the embodiment of authority, strategy, and survival. Scientifically known as Panthera leo, they are the only cats in the world that live in prides, a kingdom where each member serves a divine purpose. The males are warriors, defending their territory, clashing with challengers, battling hyenas and leopards. The females are master hunters, relying on speed, strategy, and teamwork to bring down prey many times their size. And through this unbreakable bond, they do not just survive, they reign over the endless plains. A lion pride's territory can stretch up to 100 square miles, a domain ruled by claws and thunderous roars that echo across the horizon. As the second largest big cat after the Siberian tiger, a male lion can weigh 330 to 550 pounds, while the smaller lionesses range from 260 to 400 pounds. Yet despite the size difference, each plays an irreplaceable role. And to keep their throne, they must always adapt, always wait, always hunt. Lions are not bound by day or night. They hunt whenever the opportunity arises. But they prefer the darkness when the shadows become their allies, when prey like zebras and antelopes grow sluggish, when poor vision makes them easy targets. But lions are unlike other predators. God granted them a gift, the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer in their eyes that allows them to see through the night. Every movement, every trembling breath Every fearful heartbeat of their prey is laid bare before them. And when the moment comes, they strike without hesitation. Lions are not solitary hunters, they are tactical masterminds. The lionesses surround their prey, closing off every escape route. A lightning-fast pounce, a vice-like grip on the throat. Resistance is futile. A royal feast, a triumphant symphony of the rulers. Powerful leaps, fangs up to 2.7 inches long, sharp enough to pierce the thickest hides, muscular limbs delivering the death grip. Even Cape buffaloes weighing 5 times more cannot escape their fate. But even after a successful hunt, the battle is not over. The savannah does not forgive the weak. Spotted hyenas, bold and ruthless, lurk at the edges of the kill, waiting for the lions to let their guard down before launching their assault. They do not win through strength, but through sheer numbers. A pack of hyenas can force lions to abandon their hard-earned prize. God gave lions not just strength, but patience and wisdom. When the sun blazes high and the heat scorches the savannah, they do not waste their energy recklessly. They seek shade, resting beneath acacia trees, waiting for the golden hour. During the dry months, they can spend up to 20 hours a day conserving energy, knowing that in this unforgiving land, the survivor is not the strongest, but the smartest. For thousands of years, lions have kept their throne, not just through raw power, but through unmatched strategy, discipline, and an unyielding will. Across the golden plains, beneath the setting sun, amid hunts bathed in blood and roars that shake the heavens, a legend endures. The legend of the kings of the savannah, the eternal rulers, the warriors, carrying the spirit of God. If the lion is the ruler of the African savannah, then the Nile crocodile is the undisputed lord of the freshwater realm. A silent yet deadly force, a phantom lurking beneath the murky waters, an apex predator unbound by day or night. The Nile crocodile, Crocodilus niloticus, is the embodiment of patience, of absolute power, of a creature that knows no failure. As the second largest reptile in the world, surpassed only by the saltwater crocodile, the Nile crocodile is a semi-aquatic monster, spending most of its life gliding beneath the water's surface, its cold, calculating eyes watching every movement along the riverbanks. It does not need to chase its prey, it does not need speed. It is the master of ambush, the artist of waiting, the bringer of silent death. Thirsty zebras, distracted antelopes, buffaloes weighing thousands of pounds, stepping into what seems like a peaceful river, unaware that nature's most perfect trap lies beneath the surface. They do not know that the predator has been there all along, motionless like a drifting log, waiting for the perfect moment. And then in a fraction of a second, death strikes. A lightning-fast lunge, a bite force exceeding 5,000 pounds per square inch, stronger than any predator on land. A lion's teeth are designed for tearing flesh, but the Nile crocodile doesn't need to tear, it needs only to hold. Its jaws are biological steel traps, built not for slicing, but for crushing. Once a victim is caught in its grip, there is no escape. As an apex predator, the Nile crocodile faces little competition. No rival dares challenge it in the water. It does not need to fight lions for territory, nor does it fear hyenas stealing its kill. It exists above them all, a phantom of the river, a creature of the eternal. But what makes the Nile crocodile truly legendary is not just its power. God granted it something greater than brute strength, the gift of endurance. Its armor-like skin is nearly impenetrable. Its teeth regenerate for a lifetime. It can go without food for months, even a year if necessary. When droughts turn the savannah into a barren wasteland, when rivers dry up and lions, leopards and hyenas are forced to wander in search of food, the Nile crocodile simply buries itself in the mud and waits. It does not fall to time. That is why it can live 40 to 100 years, watching generations rise and fall, witnessing the reign of countless rulers across the African plains. If the lion is the king of the savannah, then the Nile crocodile is the god of the river, a symbol of patience, an apex predator whose dominion never fades. And as the night falls, as unsuspecting creatures lower their heads to drink, as the moonlight shimmers upon the still water, one hunter remains in waiting, a hunter that never sleeps, a hunter that God created to be the eternal terror of the freshwater world. After a scorching day, filled with blood-soaked hunts, night descends, draping the African savannah in a veil of mystery. But this land is never truly at peace. When the sun sinks beyond the horizon and the moonlight shimmers over dew-laden grass, the predators of the dark awaken. Darkness does not bring safety. It only makes the vulnerable even weaker, more prone to fatal mistakes. Exhausted prey, worn down by the relentless heat, now move sluggishly, their senses dulled. With the searing sun no longer a threat, the masters of the hunt emerge, turning the night into a silent dance of death beneath the moon. The savannah at night is not loud, but it is far from quiet. It hums with whispers of the wind, the faintest rustling of unseen footsteps, the rapid heartbeat of creatures clinging to life in the shadow of death. And within this stillness, one predator reigns supreme, a hunter whose presence is only known when it's too late. A gold-spotted phantom slinking through the night like a ghost, the leopard, the invisible ruler of darkness. The leopard, Panthera pardus, the most elusive of the big cats, is a mid-sized predator with strength far beyond what its frame suggests. No pride, no deafening roars, only the silence of death. Unlike lions who dominate with sheer force, the leopard is a master of stealth and ambush. It does not rely on numbers, nor does it need long chases. Instead, it hunts with flawless precision, blending seamlessly into the night, delivering a single decisive strike, one that never misses. The leopard's body is a masterpiece of speed, agility, and explosive power. A full-grown male can weigh up to 200 pounds, while females are lighter at around 90 pounds. But every muscle in their frame is fine-tuned for stealth, swiftness, and sudden, devastating attacks. Its golden coat, adorned with black rosette spots, acts as the ultimate camouflage, allowing it to vanish into the tall grasses and scattered rocks of the savannah. It does not hunt like a lion. No noise, no spectacle. It is the wind, the shadow, the phantom that comes unseen and leaves unnoticed. When the distance is closed, the leopard does not need a long pursuit. A lightning-fast lunge, claws like daggers, sinking deep, a precise bite to the throat, and in mere seconds, life is extinguished in absolute silence. No struggle, no fight, only an ending that was always inevitable. But speed and agility are not the leopard's deadliest weapons. It possesses something no other big cat does, a kingdom above the ground. A leopard's ability to climb is not just a hunting tool, it is the key to its survival in a world ruled by stronger rivals. In a land where lions steal through brute force and hyenas overwhelm in numbers, the leopard has perfected the art of evasion. It does not fight, it rises above them all. After a successful hunt, while other predators must defend their meal, the leopard simply drags its prey skyward, to the sturdy branches of ancient trees where no other carnivore can reach. A full-grown leopard can haul a dead animal twice its weight up to 20 feet into the treetops, a feat no other predator can achieve. Up there, it dines in peace, while the scavengers below can do nothing but stare in frustration. In the scorching heat of the savannah, the leopard hides beneath the shade of a tree, silently observing the world as it moves around it. It can hunt during the night, but when the golden sun stretches across the grasslands, that is when it truly dominates the game. With cunning, with stillness, with footsteps as light as breath, the leopard does not need to fight, does not need to boast. It requires only an opportunity, a moment, a single, precise step. And that alone is enough to turn it into the nightmare of any creature foolish enough to drop its guard under the blazing sun. Beneath the fiery sky, as the wind whispers through the treetops, as silence itself becomes the greatest fear, the leopard moves, a phantom unseen. Not the biggest, not the strongest, but without a doubt, the most dangerous hunter of daylight. Across the endless grasslands, between the dense trees within the lethal stillness of the savannah, the leopard still hunts, still rules, still writes the legend of an undefeated shadow beneath the sun.
Under the dim glow of twilight, as the sun slowly retreats beyond the horizon, an eerie laughter echoes across the African savanna, haunting, wild, and chilling. A sound that sends fear rippling through every corner of the wilderness. It is the signal that the savanna's most cunning predators have begun their game. The spotted hyena, Crocuta crocuta, is far more than the scavenger many believe it to be. It is a masterful hunter, a warrior of the twilight, an opportunist that thrives on the edge of survival and domination. The green bush viper carries within it the patience of the earth, the cruelty of the desert. It does not hunt with speed. It does not chase its prey. It waits. Hidden among tall grass, it becomes one with nature, its cold, unblinking eyes locked onto the footsteps of creatures unaware they are walking straight into the jaws of death. One misstep, one careless movement, one slight brush against what appears to be nothing more than a harmless leaf, and in a quarter of a second, the viper strikes. A flash, a bite. A single drop of venom flows like a curse, spreading through the body, destroying cells, paralyzing its prey in agony beyond salvation. This is not a battle. This is an execution. But there is one snake that does not wait like the viper. It does not warn like the cobra. The black mamba, the god of speed among serpents. While other snakes hide and wait, the black mamba hunts. It does not slither. It glides over the earth like a shadow, faster than any creature can react. At speeds of up to 12 miles per hour, it does not give its prey even the illusion of escape. And when it attacks, it is not a single strike. It is a storm of death. Unlike most snakes, which bite once and retreat, the black mamba strikes over and over again, injecting venom with every bite, ensuring that no hope of survival remains. Its venom works so quickly that a human can collapse in under 20 minutes, not from blood loss, not from injury, but because their nervous system has completely shut down, their heart too weak to beat. No creature in Africa dares challenge the black mamba, not because it is the biggest, not because it is the strongest, but because it is the fastest, because it is the most ruthless, because when it decides to kill, there is no mercy. God created the lion to rule the grasslands. He created the crocodile to dominate the rivers. But he created snakes to need no territory, no pact, no brute strength. They do not fight for dominance. They do not announce their power. They need only a moment, a precise strike, a single drop of venom, and that is enough to make them legends of the African wilderness, undefeated, unchallenged, the silent gods of death. Under the dim glow of twilight, as the sun sinks beyond the horizon, an eerie laughter echoes across the African savanna, haunting, untamed, and chilling. A sound that sends shivers through every corner of the wilderness. It is the signal that the savanna's most cunning predators have begun their game. The spotted hyena, Crocuta crocuta, is far more than the scavenger many believe it to be. It is a masterful hunter, a warrior of dusk, an opportunist that thrives on the edge of survival and domination. Not of the day, not entirely of the night. The spotted hyena is a predator of the in-between, most active during the fleeting moments between two worlds. As darkness creeps across the grasslands, as the last golden rays of sunlight fade into the horizon, the hyenas rise. They move silently through the tall grasses, traverse sparse woodlands, and even navigate the arid semi-deserts. No terrain can stop them. No challenge can make them falter. They are not the fastest runners, but they are the most relentless. With incredible endurance and powerful limbs, spotted hyenas can chase their prey for miles without exhaustion. They are not just hunters. They are masters of adaptation, utilizing every last drop of twilight's fading light to stalk, ambush, and execute the perfect hunt. The savanna is no place for the weak, and no one understands this better than the spotted hyena. They do not roam alone like leopards. They do not operate in small groups like lions. They live within powerful clans, where every individual has a place within nature's most brutal hierarchy. A spotted hyena clan can reach up to 80 members, led not by the strongest males, but by dominant females, the true rulers of the hyena empire. In their world, females are larger, stronger, and more aggressive. It is they who make the decisions. Every kill, every hunt, every conflict is dictated by a strict social order, where only the most formidable hold their place at the top. The alpha females control access to food, maintain order within the clan, and lead battles over territory and against rival predators. And when the hyenas move, the entire savanna listens, their footsteps rustling through the grass, their eerie laughter ringing across the dusk. Though labeled scavengers, spotted hyenas are ruthless killers, some of the most efficient hunters of the African wilderness. They can hunt alone, in small groups, or launch devastating full-scale attacks as an entire clan. When hunting together, they encircle their prey, cutting off all escape routes, using sheer numbers and overwhelming strategy to wear their victims down. A gazelle may be faster. A zebra may have a powerful kick, but they cannot outlast the endurance of the hyena. They cannot escape a hunt that lasts for hours, where every step only drains them further. And when the hyenas close in, death does not come swiftly. They do not kill with a clean throat bite like lions. They do not lunge in a flash like leopards. They rip, they tear, they crush, while their prey is still alive. But what makes them true rulers of the savannah is not just how they kill, it's how they consume everything. With one of the most powerful digestive systems in the animal kingdom, they can devour bone, hide, tendons, and flesh. Nothing is wasted. They do not just hunt, they take everything nature offers. For millions of years, spotted hyenas have evolved into perfect survival machines, predators that cannot be outlasted, outwitted, or outmaneuvered. But even as they dominate the land, even as they endure brutal droughts, endless hunger, and fierce competition from lions and leopards, they now face a new enemy, nature itself. Climate change is shortening the rainy seasons, drying up the water holes, thinning the once abundant herds. Yet, if any creature can adapt, if any creature can survive the increasing brutality of the wild, it is the spotted hyena. Because they do not just survive, they conquer. When God created the African savanna, He did not only shape its fearsome predators, the lions, the leopards, the hyenas. He did not only send scorching winds across its sunburnt plains or carve rivers teeming with danger. He created beings that did not roar, did not hunt, did not rule with brute force, yet became the very lifeblood of this land. He created the wildebeest. They have no sharp claws like the great cats, no bone-crushing jaws like the Nile crocodile, no armored hide like the rhinine. Wildebeest are not warriors of battle, but warriors of survival. God did not create them to win through power or dominance. He created them to win through endurance, through adaptation, through an irreplaceable purpose that no other creature could fulfill. And so other creature could fulfill. And so, from the very first moment they take their first breath, they never stop moving. God did not grant the wildebeest a fixed territory, nor did He place them at the top of the food chain. He set them in motion, ensuring that the savanna would never stand still, that life would never fade, that the land would forever pulse with energy. Each year, millions of wildebeest embark on an endless journey across sun-scorched plains, through predator-infested rivers, weaving through sparse woodlands, driven by a purpose greater than themselves. This is not just migration. This is the heartbeat of the savanna. Wherever they move, they bring life with them. Their hooves trample over dry, lifeless grass, making way for fresh green shoots to sprout anew. Their endless marching carves pathways into the earth, allowing rainwater to seep deep into the soil, nourishing the land itself. They do not simply search for survival. They unknowingly sustain the very ecosystem they roam. If wildebeest were to vanish, the grasslands would wither, the lions would starve, the hyenas would wander in desperation, the rivers would fall silent, no longer erupting into foaming chaos as thousands of hooves charge across. Without them, the savanna would no longer be the savanna. Wildebeest are more than prey. They unarmed warriors, the fortressless guardians, the unsung souls whose greatness does not require a crown. And when one wildebeest falls, the cycle of life continues, just as God intended since the dawn of time. The lions take the first feast. The hyenas and jackals tear away the remains. The vultures strip every last scrap of flesh. The soil, rich with unseen life, reclaims what is left, returning it to the earth, feeding the grass, restarting the cycle anew. Nothing is wasted. No part of them is lost. Even in death, the wildebeest gives back to the savanna. They do not live for themselves, they live for the land. Without claws, without fangs, wildebeest are not defenseless. Every year, they undertake a grueling 600-kilometer journey, crossing landscapes so treacherous that even the mightiest predators hesitate. They face the Mara River, where Nile crocodiles lie in wait beneath the murky waters, ready to seize any that falter. They tread through the territory of lions, where golden eyes glimmer in the grass, watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They press forward under the merciless sun, where exhaustion claims the weak, where only the strongest will push onward. But they do not stop. They do not waver, for within them, God placed something no predator could take away, an unbreakable will to move forward. Without the wildebeest, lions would have no prey. Hyenas would have no food. The grasslands would fade to dust. The forests would fall silent, empty of the rhythmic beat of hooves echoing at dusk. They do not fight for dominance. They do not hunt for power. They do not roar for glory. But God granted them a purpose greater than any other creature. Their role is to sustain the very life of the land itself. And so, as the sun sets over the savanna, as endless herds of wildebeest move forward beneath the golden sky, they are not merely migrating. They are the pulse of an entire ecosystem, the breath of nature itself, the eternal force that keeps the savanna alive. They are not just prey. They are the lifeblood of the grasslands, the voice of nature, the warriors who never stop moving forward. And as long as the herds continue their journey, the savanna will breathe, nature will thrive, and God's blessing will remain upon this land. When God created the African savanna, He did not just fill it with fearsome predators, nor did He merely unleash the endless herds of wildebeest that fuel its pulse, or carve rivers that conceal death beneath their surface. He created something else, a creature forged with the strength of the earth, the patience of stone, and the spirit of ancient warriors. He created the rhino, the living titan of the grasslands. Rhinos are not hunters. Rhinos do not need speed. Rhinos do not require venom or sharp claws. God did not create them to kill. He created them to protect. He did not grant them ruthlessness, but resilience. He did not place them in a race for dominance, but on a journey longer than any other creature, a journey spanning millions of years, where they became symbols of power, of endurance, and of an unshaken kingdom without a throne. There is no creature quite like the rhino. They do not stalk prey in the shadows. They do not chase or ambush. They do not rely on numbers for survival. They walk slowly, silently, yet with a presence that commands respect, as if they have witnessed the birth and fall of countless generations before them. But God did not create them just to be strong. He created them to be protectors. When a rhino moves, it does not just wander through the plains. It shapes the very land beneath its feet. They break through dense brush, clearing paths for smaller animals. They carve trails that lead to water, ensuring no creature goes thirsty. They graze the land, preventing overgrowth and keeping the ecosystem in perfect balance. They are not just a part of nature. They are the silent keepers of its harmony. Every step they take does not just mark their existence. It upholds the eternal cycle of the wild. Elephants do not hunt. They do not stalk in the shadows. They do not need claws or speed to survive. They do not fight over territory. They do not need to prove their strength. Because no creature dares challenge their presence, every step of an elephant is not a mark of destruction, but of life itself. They cross the savanna, stirring up dust and shaking the earth, not to devastate, but to renew. For millions of years, elephants have stood as giants, unchanged, unmoved, watching the shifting tides of nature, enduring the storms of time. They are among the oldest living creatures to walk the earth, a species that carries the memories of an ancient world. No natural predator threatens them. No creature makes them tremble. And when needed, they can charge at 25 miles per hour, toppling anything in their path. A swing of their trunk can send a lion crashing into the dust. A single stomp can crush any fool who dares to test their might. But elephants do not seek violence. They do not chase. They do not kill. They do not conquer through brute force. Predators may hunt in packs. They may lurk in the darkness. But when they face a fully grown elephant, they understand this is a battle they cannot win. God granted elephants power not for destruction, but for protection. They are the guardians of nature, the keepers of the earth's balance. Strength alone does not define them. They carry a mind beyond any other creature, an intelligence that outlasts generations. They remember every path to water, every land that once sustained their ancestors. When an elder falls, the herd gathers, touching its body, mourning in silence, then remembering that place forever. If one of their own is taken by death, if blood stains the ground, they return. They stop. They trace their trunks over the broken tusks, over the bones left behind, mourning, remembering. They do not simply exist. They carry history itself. A calf is never abandoned, no matter how weak. A lone elephant never stands alone. When danger approaches, the herd forms a wall of steel, encircling the young, pushing back threats with nothing but their unity. The uncrowned gods of Africa, no other creature can replace them. They are not kings, but they are the foundation of an entire empire. They are not predators, but they shape the fate of the land itself. They do not need claws, but they will never be conquered. God did not create elephants to be ruled. He created them to protect. And as long as a single elephant still walks beneath the African sun, the savanna will still breathe. Nature will still pulse with life. And the winds will still carry the echoes of the greatest being God has ever placed upon this earth. When God painted the African savanna, He did not merely stretch endless grasslands to the horizon. He did not only breathe into it winds carrying the essence of nature, nor did He only pour upon it the golden light of the sun and the life-giving rains. God created the savanna as a masterpiece of harmony, a land where every creature has a role, a purpose, a destiny that cannot be replaced. He created the elephant to guard the forests, to clear the way for water, to carry the memory of this land across generations. He created the rhino to protect nature with endurance, to uphold a balance no other beast could sustain. He created the lion to restore order to the food chain, to ensure that this land would never fall into chaos. He created the wildebeest to spread the pulse of life across the plains, to connect all living beings in this great land. But now, These creations are disappearing, not because nature willed it, but because mankind has forgotten why God placed them in this world. God gave humanity strength to protect, not to rule. God granted humans power, not for dominion, but for stewardship. He gave us wisdom, not for destruction, but for preservation. He placed us within nature, not to exploit it, but to learn to live in harmony with it. Our responsibility is not to decide which creatures deserve to live or die. It is to ensure that they continue to exist, just as God intended from the dawn of time. If the savanna still stands, we must defend it. If elephants still walk, we must safeguard their home. If lions still roar in the night, we must secure their lands. If even one rhino, one wildebeest, one leopard remains, then hope is not lost. We still have time to right our wrongs.
But hippos have adapted in their own unique way. They spend most of their time submerged, where the cool water helps regulate their body temperature and shields their sensitive skin from the relentless heat. As night falls, these massive shadows quietly emerge from the water, venturing onto the lush grasslands. A typical group consists of 10 to 30 individuals, moving together in the darkness like an invisible yet powerful army. They can travel several miles in search of food, grazing on soft grass and preventing vegetation from growing unchecked. An essential role in reducing the risk of wildfires caused by accumulated dry grass. But the hippo's role extends far beyond the land. When they return to the water, their waste enriches the ecosystem, providing vital nutrients for countless microorganisms and fish, fueling an abundant food chain. They are the bridge between two worlds, both rulers of the water and guardians of the savanna, preserving the delicate equilibrium that nature has so perfectly designed. In the southern regions of Africa, where vast wetlands stretch as far as the eye can see, an estimated 40,000 hippos roam, one of the largest populations on Earth. Each hippo carries a purpose, not just to survive, but to shape and safeguard life itself. As the sun rises, casting its golden reflection upon the shimmering waters, the hippos retreat into their submerged kingdom, continuing the endless cycle of nature. A flooded savanna is more than just a meeting place of land and water. It is a cradle of rebirth, where the laws of survival are rewritten with each rainy season, and where silent giants like the hippo work tirelessly to uphold the delicate rhythm of the wild. The hippopotamus is not just a magnificent creature of nature, but a flawless masterpiece crafted by the Creator for the lands of Africa. With divine precision, he designed them as silent guardians of the ecosystem, giants that maintain the delicate balance between water and land. Yet, human greed is turning these peaceful waters into blood-stained battlegrounds, pushing this majestic species to the brink of extinction. Protecting the hippos is not just about saving an animal. It is about honoring the sacred design that God has woven into nature itself. If we allow poachers to steal their lives, we are defying the very act of creation. We must act now, before the rivers of the savanna become mere echoes of the silenced roars of giants lost forever. The temperate savanna stretches like a vast golden tapestry, from Kruger National Park to Pilanesberg and Galagadi. Here, the tall grasses sway in the wind, and the acacia trees, Acacia tortilis, stand resilient beneath the endless blue sky, enduring both drought and raging wildfires. This is no paradise. This is a land where nature tests every creature, where only the strongest and most resilient survive. And in this unforgiving landscape, one colossal beast walks with an aura of reverence: the African rhinoceros, Ceratodarium semum, one of the most iconic animals of the South African grasslands. Nature has sculpted the African rhino into a living fortress, a creature that seems carved from stone. It is the largest of the 5 remaining rhinoceros species, with a body weighing up to 5,500 pounds, 2,500 kilograms, and stretching over 13 feet, 4 meters long. Second only to the 3 existing elephant species, it is one of the largest land mammals on Earth, but its true power lies not just in its immense size. It lies in its endurance, adaptability, and a legacy of survival spanning millions of years. The most defining feature of the African rhino is its broad, square-shaped mouth, a divine adaptation designed for grazing on short grasses. Each day, a fully grown rhino can consume up to 265 pounds, 120 kilograms, of grass, playing a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the savanna. As they move across the land, they regulate vegetation growth, clearing space for smaller species and ensuring the ecosystem functions in perfect harmony. They do not merely live in the savanna, they shape it. But if there is one symbol that captures both the greatness and the tragedy of the African rhinoceros, it is the mighty horns that adorn its head. These 2 massive horns, made of keratin, the same material as human hair and fingernails, are powerful tools for defense, used to fight off even the most dangerous predators, from lions to crocodiles. The front horn can grow up to 65 inches, 1.65 meters, long 0.65 meters, long 0.65 meters, long cut, weighing an average of 8.8 pounds, 4 kilograms. Yet, it is this very horn that has made the rhino one of the most relentlessly hunted animals on Earth. The survival story of the African rhino is one of both triumph and heartbreak. By the late 19th century, they were on the brink of extinction, with only about 20 individuals remaining in the wild. But through tireless conservation efforts, their numbers began to rise in one of the most remarkable wildlife recovery stories of our time. As of 2023, an estimated 18,000 African rhinos remain, primarily in Kruger and Galagadi national parks. These lands provide the ideal environment: wet summers that allow the grasslands to flourish, and dry winters that sustain an abundant food supply. But even after surviving millions of years of evolution, they now face their greatest threat: humankind. According to Save the Rhino, more than 450 African rhinos were killed in South Africa in 2022 alone, their horns taken for illegal trade, primarily driven by markets in Asia. They are not slaughtered for food. They are not hunted for self-defense. They are killed for a false belief: the myth that their horns bring power, luck, or even serve as medicine. But this is too high a price to pay for superstition. Nature did not create these gentle giants to be trophies. They were meant to roam freely across the vast plains, not to be casualties of human greed. Every rhino killed is not just an individual loss. It is the destruction of a legacy that has endured for millions of years. Yet, there is hope. As long as conservationists continue the fight, as long as people recognize the true value of nature, as long as we protect these lands, the African rhino still has a future. Not confined within fences or small reserves, but out in the open, where they can roam as they were meant to, under the vast African sky, living as nature intended. As the sun sets over the South African plains, casting golden light over the towering forms of the rhinos, they march on, unaware of the battle being waged for their survival. They do not know of the threats looming over them, but they know one thing for certain: as long as the grasslands remain, as long as the open skies stretch above them, the African rhino will continue to walk this earth. A living legacy of the wild, a miracle of evolution, a reminder that humanity can be destroyers, but we can also be protectors. And the story of the African rhinoceros is not yet finished. We are the ones who will decide the next chapter. God created the African savanna as a living masterpiece, a vast expanse of golden grasslands stretching beneath an endless blue sky, where all creatures move in perfect harmony with nature's rhythm. This is the land of great migrations, where lions roar to assert their dominion, or herds of wildebeest thunder across the horizon, where African rhinos march like ancient titans. Each gust of wind carries the breath of the Creator, and each footstep upon the earth is a testament to the enduring life He has bestowed upon this land. God placed predators and prey, rainy seasons and merciless droughts, but He also gave every creature a sacred purpose. Lions maintain balance. Wildebeests spread life. African rhinos clear the way for new grass to flourish. Every species plays its part in this perfect design. The savanna is not just a landscape. It is an eternal symphony of life, where every being has a place, and every movement holds divine meaning. Yet, amidst this breathtaking masterpiece, a shadow looms, threatening to obscure God's light, the plague of poaching. Lions and hyenas are not the greatest threats to the majestic creatures of the savanna. Humans are. Driven by greed, by false beliefs, by the pursuit of meaningless wealth, poachers have heartlessly stolen the lives of countless beings. African rhinos are slaughtered for their horns, elephants are massacred for their ivory, and leopards and lions are hunted for their skins. The crack of gunfire shatters the silence of the plains, not in service of the natural order, but to satisfy human desire. God gifted mankind with wisdom, but not to destroy His creation, not to erase the wonders He so carefully designed. We cannot stand idly by while the savanna is reduced to a barren wasteland, where only the bones of fallen giants remain beneath the scorching sun, where the echoes of life that once flourished are buried beneath the dry, lifeless earth. Protecting the savanna is not just about saving wildlife. It is about fulfilling the mission God entrusted to us. We were made stewards, guardians, not destroyers. If we do nothing, a day will come when the great herds of wildebeest no longer roam the grasslands, when the African rhino no longer stands proud upon the plains, when the lion's roar is nothing more than a memory lost to time. But if we rise, if we protect what remains, if we embrace the responsibility that God has given us, and the savanna will endure. The symphony of life will play on, and this sacred land will remain a testament to His creation forever.